All right. So I said I would post more about dating as a nomad. So that's what I'm doing. I have this beautiful backdrop. Thank you to good friends that have very beautiful backyards. I'm in Colorado still. And so, as I said before, this is not about me giving advice. I'm just sharing my experiences, what it's like to be single, nomadic, and dating. And a lot of the videos that I came up with when I searched that were when they were actually with someone, so what it was like to be with another person. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm talking about going out on dates. That's what this, so far, hopefully, maybe eventually this playlist will turn into that. um, so I use a dating website, and only one because otherwise it's just too much. Um, and I've already had 2 dates this week, and I have one tonight. And that might sound crazy, but when you're single and you're open to, you know, uh, your potential life partner, I feel like it's not weird. Maybe it is. There was a time, so I was married at one point, pre-marriage, that I went on 3 dates in one day. And that's a longer story. If you want to hear that, if there's enough outcries for that story, I'll share it with you. It was long enough ago that those guys will never find this video. So, so yeah, I'm not a serial dater, but I am an active dater, and it's really interesting what being nomadic, like what you share with people, because I don't want to give the impression that I'm going out on a date just so I have a place to sleep at night. Because people, when you tell them you live in your truck, they have ideas about what that means, right? And so, I choose to. And even when I have a bed to crash in, I often will just utilize that house's, like, driveway and bathroom. But I love my bed. I love my home, and it is home to me. So I think it's interesting. What I found, what I share with people and what I don't. I don't necessarily say I live in my. I don't actually tell them I live in my vehicle, but I do tell them I travel for a living, and their minds will create whatever they want. And I don't want to lie. And then usually, also the question comes up as you're making plans, like where do you want to meet? Where do you live? And oftentimes I just give the answer that I live, the town of wherever either my closest friend is, which I'm in Colorado, so I have a lot of friends out here, or wherever my truck is parked. Although I don't, if we had to get into details about that, oh, me too. Oh, what street? So I usually just pick the kind of the spot where, I'm maybe utilizing the closest friend's bathroom or something like that. But it's been interesting dating because when we talk about that kind of stuff, I mean, I do say I travel for a living. That's kind of my term. I feel like it's easier to say that than, um, you know, I'm nomadic. I think that people don't really understand what that could mean. And when I say travel for a living, it's a little bit more understandable, right? It gives a sense that I have a job, which I do, and I travel maybe for it. Um, so anyway, that's just been really interesting. I had 2 really great dates this week. Um, First one, and this is sort of just like a PSA about being single, being female, and paying attention. First one was great. Actually, both were fantastic. First one was like really lighthearted and fun and goofy, and we joked and laughed a lot. And at the very end, I got a goodbye kiss, and he got very serious, intently serious, in a way that had not been the case through the whole date. And it just was a little red flag for me. I don't know if there'll be a second date. I mean, we had such a good time. I hope there is, but I'm going to keep my wits about me, and I'm probably going to, make sure that I notify a friend of where I am, just because, like, you got to pay attention to those little red flags. You never know. And being single, being female, being nomadic, being all those things, it's important to just keep your wits about you. So that's my little PSA. But and to pay attention to that, if the hairs in the back of your neck pop up for any reason, like pay attention to that. The other thing, um, So that's all I have to really say about that. And then I had a really, really great day last night. We pontificated all things religion, politics. I mean, it was, and he's really cute, and I hope that leads to a second date. We'll see. Um, there's little cotton things flying around. Um, so, so yeah, I think that what's also interesting about dating is, while being nomadic, is that you kind of think if you move into your like truck or RV that you're gonna have all this free time, but it's like same rules apply. If not, they're just in a different way. You have these time sucks that are just different. So, for example, I spend just as much time as I would cleaning my house, um, organizing my truck. It's like I feel like I'm constantly like when I pull up somewhere, like to a friend's house. Ooh, squirrel, dog. When I pull up to a friend's house, I'm like going in and out of my vehicle, like reorganizing, restacking, cleaning. It's like non-stop. And there's days where I'm like, why am I reorganizing again? But it's such a small space, and you always have to be, and I have to be really, I want it to be clean in there, and I want to have my home be comfortable, and I want to be able to, when I go to bed, hop in and go right to bed, and not having to move anything around. That was something I learned about myself when I did my 2-month trip last year. Is that I really like to be able to, when it's time to go to bed, like pull up, pull in wherever, whatever I'm doing, and just crawl into bed. No moving of anything. And last night I had my guitar in my bed, so I played around with whether or not that was annoying to me. And it sounds like small, but it's just one of those things I figured out about myself. I found myself getting irritated and not going to bed right away if I had to move things around. So this trip I made my setup so that my cab is a mess. I mean, it's organized, but it's a lot of stuff up there because I wanted my bed space to be simple and easy and clean. Anyway, so going back to the timepiece, it's like I spend more time doing that, whereas, if I was in a house, I would be doing dishes and cleaning and other aspects in other ways. So I think that that's something that people think about. Like, I know I thought I'd have more time on the road, and I don't. And so, especially dating, it's like squeezing these dates in when I can. The nice thing about it is that I'm mobile, so I can meet that person and I don't think twice about it. Whereas, like, I know that if I have a roof over my head, a stationary roof over my head, we're going to try to meet somewhere that's convenient for both of us in the middle, that type of thing. Whereas now, like, I'm going to be getting on a plane tomorrow morning, so I'm going to drive to meet him where he's at because he's on a tight timetable, and then I'm going to drive towards the airport so that I don't need to get up as early. And that's the beautiful thing about being nomadic, is that you can really make your schedule work for you. And I can meet people, and it doesn't even occur to me to think that I might be driving a half hour, an hour to meet someone, because I drive for a living in some ways, right? So it's just like a different perspective in that way. But yeah, so that's really all I have to say about that. Feel free to ask questions, post comments. If this is interesting, hit subscribe. Hit the little bell if you want notifications. I learned that just if you subscribe, you don't get notified. Sometimes I like to get notified when people are, and I'll be going live too sometimes. But yeah, I don't really have topics. I'm just kind of sharing my experience. So if there are things that you are curious about, when it comes to being nomadic or being single or dating or anything, I don't really care. I'm an open book. So comment below, and I'll try to post some more videos and be a little bit more regular about posting. But yeah, dating is fun. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, and I find it interesting when I hear myself describing my life and describing where I live, and it's kind of interesting to watch myself, I guess. So anyway, thanks for watching.